You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javanokelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA. Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to another insightful episode of AFIAPodcast, where we are going to explore different, African proverbs. But really today we want to center our conversation around a wonderful friend and guest that I really look up to. My wonderful guest today is Triana Holiday, that is a mover and shaker here in Seattle, Washington, and someone who has really supported my work with Madaraka Festival, with One Vibe Africa. Triana, why don't you go ahead and just say hi before we jump deep into the show?
Hi, everyone. Simon, thank you so much for letting me join you on this amazing podcast. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm really honored to have you. Today, as I was preparing for the show, I was really thinking about how having you on the show is really a full circle moment for me. And really, I feel like I made it when it comes to podcasting just by having you here on the show. So again, thank you for waking up so early. The reason I choose this time is because it's a perfect timing. It's afternoon in West Africa, it's evening in Europe, in London, and it's also early morning in the East Coast, around 9 a.m. So it's just perfect timing. But really, for those who are meeting Tri Holiday for the first time, I just want you to know that we have someone who is going to bless us with so much wisdom. But there's an event that she's promoting and going to be speaking at. We are going to talk a lot about that. We are going to talk about her award-winning show that she hosts at Converge Media, and then we'll cover a lot today, including what really drives who she is. But for now, I want us to begin with today's proverb. Our proverb today, I'll just put it on your screen here real quick. Let's see. That one is our proverb from yesterday. I just want to add today's proverb here real quick. Let's get this one here. Just give me a moment. I was looking at today's proverb and I think it's really, really profound. And that's our proverb for the day before yesterday. So one last try. One last try here. I added, a video that I'm going to show you all in just a second in relation to, I think I found the proverb. It says that nature gave us two cheeks. We wrote it 2 checks. I wish it was 2 checks. So if nature could give us checks, it would even be better. But nature gave us 2 cheeks to make it easier to eat hot food. This is a Ghanaian proverb. I want to know what you think about it in the comments down below. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, take a minute and do that. But I know that, you are all joining us from different parts of the interwebs. I know that we are live on Twitter, X. Now Twitter is known as X. We are also live on LinkedIn and Facebook, on AMP as well, and also here on YouTube. So take a minute, follow me on those platforms. Let us know where you are in the world in the comments. And I want to quickly share the 3 nuggets of wisdom related to this proverb. Number 1, what this proverb is teaching us is that we should embrace life's spiciness. We should embrace life's spiciness. Sometimes life doesn't taste as exactly as we want it or as mild as we are used to, but we should just go with that flow. Secondly, this proverb is teaching us that we should embrace our shared human experience. We are not here to be by ourselves. We are here to share life with many other people. And then finally, we should adapt and overcome. This proverb is teaching us that if you don't adapt, you might not be able to overcome. So think about what nature has provided for you and think about how you can utilize it on your day-to-day life experiences. So again, I want to come to my guest. Nature gave us 2 cheeks to make it easier to eat hot food. Triana, what does this proverb remind you about?
Well, I'm really excited to hear some of the anchoring ideas around this proverb. And I think when you talk about, being here to experience life with other people, I'm reminded of one of the 11 laws of Ma'at, which is we are Aser, essentially. We are here to be one with all and to remember that we're one with all. And it's so true. We do. We have, we literally have two cheeks. And we also have uh, water within our mouths, right? Saliva that normally will come out even more when you're eating spicy food. So the idea of, that kind of fire meeting the water is really takes us back to elemental, energies within the earth and how fire and water are opposites, but our bodies are also a reflection of that. So I love starting with this African proverb. There's lots of ways I could go with that one.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I typically love jumping into a question here that I love. That I want you to just take a moment and reflect on maybe when you are 8 to 12 years old, and now I'm going to just quickly let people who are meeting you for the first time understand that we are here with an award-winning TV host, multi-talented documentary producer, and someone who has literally seen Seattle and the Pacific Northwest region transform, and you've gifted this region with so much of your life. And those who are meeting you for the first time are not only going to benefit from your experiences and what you bring to the world, but the event that you're going to be organizing really soon. So, but before you speak to that, just take us back. When you're around 8 years old, is there a story that when you think about, it reminds you of who you've become today? It reminds you of this moment. For example, for me, I always share this story where I was 8 years old and my mom asked me to help her distribute milk and bread in our neighborhood back in Kenya. And she gave me a bicycle, not to ride and enjoy like other kids, but to carry milk and bread on the bicycle. It was a big bike and I was very short. And sometimes people knew me for being that short boy that can't sit on the bike but rides the bike. And so I built business connections, I built relationships in the community, and that's how I feel like I continue building community and transforming the communities where I live. And so I want you to share a similar story that really, when you think back, you feel like, wow, this is where it all began.
It's I love this because I'm not sure, like I feel first off honored and blessed to be able to have something that tethers me to my childhood, that is really exemplified in how I am living now. And that thing for me is probably twofold. One, it's seeing Felicia V. Loud on the stage in Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, the play. And I was a young person. We had read the book in school, and I got to see the play, and her performance was so profound for me that I immediately was like, oh my gosh, I need to do that. And shortly thereafter, I heard a radio ad. I was in the car with my parents. I heard a radio ad for a agency that was working directly with young kids and teens. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. And from that point on, I was about 9 when I started working in film and TV at a young age, training for it, doing um, commercials and shows and things like that. Eventually took me to theater, and just the training, the media training that I started then. No one could have told me that, in decades time, I would have my own TV show where I didn't have to play a character, but it was me, right? It's just my personality. And that I would also have a platform to really elevate and uplift, so much brilliance within our communities. That's what's like so profound. And I talk about it a lot on my show. So thank you for giving that space for that, because I share with my sons all the time that I'm so grateful to be able to be doing what I loved from a young age.
I love that. To be honest with you, I've been nervous since we started this show because I feel like you're really legendary, But now I know where you began building your craft, and how you host people at Converge Media, for all the times I've been there myself. I can now understand where it came from, and I even have much more love and respect for you. Now, before we continue on with the show, I just want to welcome everyone who is joining us on YouTube. I see you. I want to know where exactly you're joining us from, your thoughts in regards to today's proverb from Ghana. But I want you to just pay attention to this video that I want to play for you so that you learn about an event that Triana Holiday is going to be speaking at, and then we'll continue on with our conversation after that.
Immerse yourself in the healing waters of Het Heru for the Het Heru Healing Conference as renowned Het Heru healing dance creator Queen Mother Maj Tamamin guide you on a transformative journey of peace and joy. So mark your calendars on September 15th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and September 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute. Reserve your spot now for only $25. Follow us on Instagram at AsarAsatWA to secure your tickets. Let the rhythm move you and let the healing begin.
I love this. I love healing is really everything for me right now. And I think for many people around the world, healing is critical, but it's a conversation that we rarely allow in the living room, in the dining table, in the kitchens, in many households, So I just want you to just speak for a moment about why this is important to you, especially right now.
Well, this is something that it's one of those things where you're experiencing positive benefits because you're doing something new in your life, right? You developed a new practice, a new tradition. Maybe it's not new, but it's ancient, and you're bringing it into your existence. And so when you experience positive benefits of something, it's like you want everyone to experience it, right? And so this dance is something that I've been leading every Friday, because that's the energy is prevalent on Fridays. And it's something that goes back to ancient times, the beginning of civilization in Kemet, which is now known as Egypt today. But I think about how I've been experiencing positive benefits in social harmony with my relationships. It's a female dance, right? And it helps to also keep our bodies healthy when it comes to womb health, which I think we don't talk about enough. And there's so many amazing testimonials that I've read about in the Het Heru Healing book, also written by Queen Mother Mashtar Mamen. But this is the first time that she's come into the Pacific Northwest area. She's been doing this conference and spreading this healing dance throughout the United States and beyond for decades. And we're new to it in the Pacific Northwest, right? It's very well known down south and East Coast, but this is the first time she's coming here. So it's an exciting time, even if, for those who are not sure about what it is, just come and learn, come and be in sisterhood. We're going to have free food, and we're going to be dancing. We're going to be talking about what this energy is. And many women now are focusing on the divine feminine. We know a lot of folks that have, a lot of women in particular, that have followed Queen Afua in a lot of her workshops. And Queen Afua and Queen Mother Mashtam really are coming from similar trains of thought and similar practices that really root what they do. And so it's exciting because it is introductory to our area, but it's also just a fun time, right? To get connected, talk about healing, and actually heal yourself, right? This dance has opened up, folks who, said they weren't supposed to have children. It was going to be too difficult for them to have children. After they're doing this dance, the next thing they know, they're pregnant with twins. I mean, some of this stuff you can't make up, right? It's just, and of course, it blows doctors away because they don't understand these kind of ancient practices that we've had as a people that have always kept us healthy and well, and allowed us to understand and like tap in to that part of us that is beyond their understanding, and really allows us to heal together. So I'm excited, Simon, because it's an amazing opportunity for women here in the greater Seattle metro area or within Washington state, and just the Pacific Northwest in general. Come up from Oregon, come up from Eastern Washington and Idaho. We want to really spread the word, because when you have something for the first time, there's sometimes apprehension if you don't know about it, but then you walk away with so much understanding because you do it, right? And there's something very specific about doing versus learning, where it's like the doing enwraps learning in it. And so I'm just excited. I've been doing this dance, and folks can reach out to me. I'm sure we'll share my socials, but they can also reach out to me if they just want to join us on Zoom on Fridays, especially this Friday, because this is coming up next weekend. So really excited. Thanks for letting me speak a bit about it.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible that you're taking us back even further than what we were talking about. Earlier we were talking about when you're 8 and what really drives who you are. But now you're taking us to ancient times, where you're helping bring this beautiful dance and bringing experts to our community to help, especially women, heal. So I really, really deeply appreciate this. I just want to make sure that those who are watching, if you know someone who is in the Pacific Northwest or in the neighboring states who really needs to be here, you've heard everything that our wonderful sister Triana Holiday has shared with us. And really, today, one of my wishes was that I would be interviewed by you. I feel like today I'm I'm sitting on your side. This is where you thrive from, and I can only say that you've probably interviewed hundreds, if not thousands of people, because your show is also happening daily, and it's been going on for years now, and you've really, really transformed storytelling in the Pacific Northwest. I just want you to reflect, look back at the walls in the Converge Media studio, your production team, and just the work ethic. A lot of people see you live, but they don't know what has happened behind the scene. They don't know the work that goes into it. So I just want you to talk about your show, talk about your show, how it began, where it is, and where you're really going with it.
Thank you for that. I'll say you're talking about me, but you've created such an amazing platform, and Madaraka Festival is, oh my word, it's so major, Simon. So kudos to all the work you've been putting in for all of us to be able to come together and experience greatness. I'm really excited because we started doing a daily show at Converge Media in 2020. And I was a co-host then, but we would bring people on even then with the morning update show and talk to amazing folks in our community. And then it was more news based. And so over a year ago now, I had the opportunity to launch my show, The Day with Trey, and really focus on, the uplifting of those stories in particular. And I'm just so blessed and honored. And I say that because it doesn't fall short on me that uh, what I'm able to do and what I am able to share is a platform that is open to those who are doing great things, but it's also about sharing inspiring stories. And, at the end of every show, I'm encouraging folks to see themselves as a part of the solution, because I realized early on that that I'm like, what am I doing this for? Right? Like, what is my real reason for wanting to do a show this style? And focus on kind of hometown heroes, so to speak. And to be honest, I was like, it's because I want everyone to be doing something toward the greater cause of all of us, right? And, whether that's a business idea or a nonprofit, or, you volunteering for something else to really be great, you pouring into young people, you being a part of your community. That's what it is. That's essentially what it's all about. And I want people to be able to find ways of doing that. So I want to be able to amplify ways that they can do it, right? I want to be able to tether them to stories of folks who come on, like yourself, who's been on, who you saw a need. You come from, Africa, the mother continent, and yet you've done such a phenomenal job of merging Americans with the tradition and culture and musical talent that is soaring throughout the continent. And it's a beautiful bridge that you've built. And so it's like being able to highlight what you do in, the ways that I am, with a great conversation that's just captured by the cameras, right? Is really where it's at for me. And I every day I think I'm in awe. My 9-year-old son asked me, Mom, what was your dream, when you were my age? And he was 9. He's 9. And I was like, well, when I was 9, and I told him the story I just opened with, in terms of like, hey, I got bit by this bug of wanting to do this, and didn't realize what was natural talent, but then got that natural talent, cultivated through a professional realm. And now, Simon, I can just tell you that The Day with Trey on Converge Media, shout out to Converge for being an amazing, phenomenal platform. You're right. There's so much that happens behind the scenes in terms of like scheduling, and my schedule is so crazy. So I'm glad that I have these very specific times where I can still do this phenomenal show while having a full-time job, right? So people think it's my full-time job all the time. And being out in community to connect with amazing businesses and provide the platform, it is a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And shout out to the whole team at Converge for, directing and helping me produce, and, helping me book guests, and being a opportunity to bring on folks from King County and Seattle, the city of Seattle, or, different avenues where there's amazing things going on that just need to be shared. So it's a plethora of different guests that we have on The Day with Trey, and lots of work. Always, I'm always working, it feels like. Simon got me up at 6 a.m., y'all, to be here with him. So
I know.
yeah, it's really a blessing.
It's totally a blessing. And I think there's no better way of actually putting in so much work and not getting rewarded. And you are an Emmy Award winning, documentary producer. The work you do has been recognized with an Emmy Award. Can you speak to that for a moment? Because it's really important that we also add a few flowers, to your already big bunch of flowers. Speak to how that felt, that your work was actually recognized in that way?
You know, it's really interesting because that award was the highest honor that the governing body over the Emmys could give. So they recognize Converge Media as a whole for like all the work that we have been doing up until that point. This was in um, 2022, so just last year. Um, and it was beautiful because it was something that said, you know, we are recognizing this entire body of work that Converge Media has been doing. And, you know, folks who have been following us know that, you know, Omari Salisbury and Eric Calligraphy are the owners of Converge Media. But they also know that I've been rocking with Converge really since 2020. And it was created a year or so before that, maybe 2 years before that. But um, it's been phenomenal to be a well recognized partner and pillar of Converge in the ways that I am. And it was so, I don't know, it was almost like otherworldly because um, we weren't necessarily expecting it. It was like, you know, hey, we're going to recognize all that Converge has been doing. And at that time, you know, Omari and I, we had the morning update show, and that became like a go-to news style show for so many folks, especially after, you know, the protest movement. I think people were eager for, you know, authentic stories, authentic journalism. And, you know, we covered so many different things. And it was also sometimes hard because we covered, you know, shootings in our community. And Omari and I are really from the community. And we experienced a personal loss oftentimes while having to explain it from a journalistic perspective. And so to be honored for this kind of the entire body of our work, we, you know, had so many shows, and there was so much talent, and we've had so much uh, phenomenal folks, so many phenomenal folks coming in to bring their brilliance to Converge. Um, that the honor was, it was beyond, I think, my dreams, because I just was like, what? We could be honored in this way. And so it encourages you to go harder, right? It encourages you to continue in a way that it doesn't matter if you have a few sleepless nights. You know why you're doing it.
I love that. You know why you're doing it. That's really why I do this too. You know why I do the AFIA podcast every morning consistently. I want you to also, you know, speak to those who are watching the show right now, and those who are going to be watching later and listening later. Speak to them and share with them how they can support the work that you do. I want you to one more time just touch on the event you're producing and also how everyone can stay connected with you.
Yeah, thank you for that. You know, my show is Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Converge Media. It's also on YouTube. You can search The Day with Trey, Trae, and on YouTube and find it. It's also a podcast, so you can find it by searching your favorite podcast platform, by searching Converge Media Network and The Day with Trey, and you'll find me on all the platforms. And then, you know, of course, for me, I'm always looking to connect, and I'm always looking to uplift stories. So if you um, are the one who I need to be talking to next, if you know someone I need to be interviewing next and having a great conversation with, whether it's in studio or virtual, we offer, you know, interviews globally. So if you know of a phenomenal story that you just want to uplift, that deserves to get more amplification and shine, please message me on Instagram at Trey Holiday. That's TraeHoliday. And for this event, again, this is catered to women, but just know that, if you're a mother or a wife or a sister, a daughter, it's for you. It's really about sisterhood, bonding, coming together, connecting, and healing together with, the idea of the divine feminine is just merging right now. This year, it's really coming to, I think, the surface even more for so many. And we anchor ourselves in the power that we can generate by being, intentional with our bodies and sharing our connection together. So please join us September 15th and 16th if you're going to be in the Seattle or Pacific Northwest area. It is in person at the iconic Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute. We'll be there the 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. on the 15th and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the 16th. Both days together is only $25, y'all. So we're making it accessible. Again, free food. We just want to have a good time with you all. So we encourage you to come and join us. You can find the link also to the tickets in my bio on Instagram at Trey Holiday. So plenty of ways for you to connect with me. And I look forward to making some genuine connections with you.
Wonderful. I love it. Thank you again, Triana Holiday, for making the time. Is there anything else that you feel that you wanted to touch on that I haven't asked? I just want to give you space to speak to anything else that I may have missed.
Well, I think there's always something to be said as we talk about amazing awards like the Emmys. It's well known, but I will say I want to give a huge thank you to those like yourself, Simon, that pour into me so that I can be anchored in this work. I hear from community members all the time about how my show isn't positively impacting them. When I'm walking down the street and they're just like, yo, Trey, dope show. Like, that is actually the greatest form of recognition because it's genuine and it's coming from our community. And that's, why I'm doing this. There's hometown heroes all over the world. And I, look to continue to make genuine connection with so many folks. It's not just bound to the Pacific Northwest. And I just want to thank, everyone who's been watching, who's been sharing the platform, sharing the show with others, those who have been, reaching out to me to let me know that what I'm doing is impacting you in a positive way. That is some of the greatest recognition that I can receive. And of course, I'm going to continue to push for more Emmys now. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to continue to push and build my brand and build up the platform. But I'm just grateful because the genuine connection, and I keep using the word genuine because it's like authentic realness, and which we don't have enough of in this world because we're so digitized and individualized. But collective beauty is something that really fuels me. So thank you so much, Simon, for all of your amazing words and all of the ways that you keep bringing amazing guests to the platform. Keep doing that, Simon. I'm here. If there's anybody I need to be talking to, let me know. And for all of you out there, thank you for watching. And if there's anyone I need to be talking to, please reach out to me. Follow me. You'll see, so many different things, clips of the shows and ways to connect.
I love it. Thank you so much. Really, you made my year, because, you're one of those people that I have so much love and respect for. And I just feel honored that you made the time to join me, especially so early in the morning. I remember sending you the text last night, join me at 5:50 a.m. so that we can set up. I was like, I hope she still agrees to show up. So again, thank you so much. And to our wonderful audience members, I see some of your comments. I just want to mention here real quick. Joanne Onyango Bunga says that, hey, Simon and Triana, watching from Nairobi, Kenya. And she says that we honor you, Triana. And then Steven is also saying, joining from Kisumu, Kenya. If you're watching this later on, make sure you leave your comments so that we know how today's show felt for you. Again, Tiana, thank you for making the time, and I'll be connecting with you later on today. Peace and love.
Right on. Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from